Great day today in Moby. Obviously, a lot of emotions. You knew it was going to be hard. I mean, this team's been through a lot, this year. We knew it was going to be hard, but I just thought they showed a lot of, emotional and physical toughness, even when things got hard, to find a way to win this game. And, it's a great night in so many ways. Before I even talk about that, I just think, I look at our team right now, and I we've gone 13 games here without a bye, right? We had the bye in the early season, and now it's been 13. And, man, in this league this year and what's going on, it is a physical and emotional grind, and everybody who follows the team, that. And this team right now, they just keep staying resilient. But I think us having some time off right now is probably a good thing. I think physically, I think emotionally. I told those guys in the locker room, I'm like, I don't want to see anybody in this gym here the next 2 days. I don't care what you do. Well, within reason, right? I do care what you do. Like, I care about these guys deeply, but I don't care what you do. But just, get away from it for a second, emotionally, physically, and let's reset, for the stretch run. We know we've got another key game in the regular season and then, tournament, postseason, and whatever. But I think our group resetting right now is really, really important. As for today, I've been lucky. I've coached so many just unbelievable young men throughout the years, and I've been really, really blessed. But I can't think of a group I've enjoyed more than this one, and it starts with those seniors. They're just incredible people. I think you even mentioned to me, Kevin, before the game, just what a great group of guys they are, man. They're just so fun to talk to. They're so accommodating. They're great men. They're going to be great men in whatever they do with the rest of their life, and they've been tremendous players and ambassadors for CSU. So they just really set the standard for what we want in our student athletes, and I can't thank them enough. And Isaiah, I'll get emotional at top, but I just, what else is there to say? I mean, I don't know if somebody asked him about his jersey being retired, and I know I don't get to make that decision, but I think there's 3 athletes here, maybe around in Moby at least, right? Women's volleyball, Becky, Bill Green, is it Cherry Danielson, I think? Is that what it is? And if number 4 is not retired in men's basketball, I don't know what else you have to do. I mean, it's not just being a Hall of Fame player. It's being just above and beyond that, a once-in-a-lifetime kind of person and player, and that's what he is. I also realize for me as a coach, I don't know that I'll ever coach another young man like him, but will I ever be able to coach another person who's going to be in the program for 5 years? Who's going to be there for 5 years and play the way that he played from day one, lead the way that he led from day one. That's unbelievable. I don't want to let go, and I don't have to yet, right? We still got a lot left to play, but, it'll even hit more probably after, but it's like, what an incredible person and player, and thought that was so cool for us. I really appreciate CSU doing that, after the game and letting him, get his moment because he's a unicorn that way. That's my rant. Yep.
Do you feel like, you kind of mentioned, but everything that's changed over college sports and during his time, that he kind of stuck with everything here almost exaggerates even more his impact?
I think all that is true. And, he's never been afraid to just be his own person. He's not going to go with the flow or do anything like that. He's not afraid to be who he is in every way, right? And he took his own path, and his path was different, right? He was the one. And I remember when he decided to come back again, he's like, he's not – everybody else has got to make their own decisions, but he's the one who's maybe doing the thing that nobody else is doing right now, but he's going to have his own legacy because of that. And I think he said, and I could be wrong, go back and look, he said, but, one day everybody will be talking about – the person who did it different. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, but the belief in himself and belief in what we're doing. And I'm forever indebted, but I'm just so happy that it worked out the way that it did for him. And it sets him up to other people. You can do that. How cool is that to have a legacy like that someplace? And that doesn't mean right for every person, but boy, that's pretty special stuff.
Is there a moment that stands out to you the most in terms of, like, when I look back on the Isaiah Stevens legacy, this is what comes to mind?
I could do a 3-hour podcast just kind of talking about all the moments and everything like that. And what's that?
I can help you.
Well, I'm sure, but I mean, to talk about all those things, I don't know if there's one. It's like, what's interesting about that is, it's not even the one moment. It's like when I look back on it, it's like, oh my gosh, like it's every day. I don't know if that makes sense or not. It's not like I sit there and I look at there's this moment, that moment. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like for 5 years, it's been every day in practice, every day ready to work, every day ready to compete, every day ready to lead, every day to do what's ever asked of them in the community, every day go to class. I mean, just all of it. I never had to worry about him once. The only thing I would say about him is saying he could be a stubborn dude sometimes, man. Like, we would butt heads sometimes like that. He is a stubborn dude sometimes. And when he gets in a mood, and he'd tell you that, like, let him know every once in a while, we'd butt heads when he'd get stubborn. But it's just the everyday stuff that you just, when you're in it, you take for granted. But that's what I remember the most.
Was there a time today that you realized it's Isaiah's last game here? And if so, what was that moment like? Was it the last time?
Still in denial, man. You know that it is, and you're just kind of in the moment. You want to sell, but then it's like, all right, I want to win this game. Do you know what I mean? I want to win this game. We got a job to do here today, but it'll probably hit me here in about an hour again. Just kind of the realization of that, and it is emotional. I know, I'm not supposed to know this, I think, but guys like, Patrick Carty is going through his warm-up, with the bigs before the game, and they get emotional. You know what I mean? And I always do, night before senior night, I always do after practice, spend some time talking with the team about these guys' legacy and what they mean to me in the program. That gets emotional, and that's okay. But it hasn't really sink in. It probably will here in an hour.
What can you say about the physical presence that Joel Scott brought in this one, tied his season high with 20 points?
Yeah, I mean, he's just been a bulldog for us here, over the course of really all season. I mean, that's just who he's been, and I think is setting the tone with the way I thought even the first couple of plays of the game, offensive rebound, tough plays. He just brings a ton of toughness and competitiveness to this group, and so I thought he was terrific today in so many ways. And like it was hard, right? Like every time I thought we were gonna, we just couldn't quite get over that, make the big shot, to do it, but I think a lot of that, as I look back at it now, is just kind of that emotional and physical fatigue, maybe a little bit. So, I'm hoping a little time away is going to be good.
Joel's been good all season long, but it feels like just kind of over this last stretch of games, he's almost taking another step. Have you seen something different in his game that's allowed him to do that?
No, I mean, I think that's how he was early in the season. There's probably one little stretch where he wasn't it, but then he just keeps staying with it. I mean, listen, man, it takes courage in this stuff. Like, you got to have the courage to just, run through things that aren't going your way. You can't dwell on whatever, people are saying this or people are that, or, you're in a funk or a funk that even you're imagining in your own mind. But he's just showing a lot of courage. He just keeps going after it and shows no fear and plays with a tenacity and aggressiveness that I think just permeates around our team. But I think, yeah, he's even kicked it into another gear here down the stretch.
You guys finished +8 from the glass. You had 5 guys with 5 or more rebounds. Is that the most encouraging stat outside of?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought Cam Maniaw was going to have 25 rebounds tonight there in the first 5 minutes. But no, it is. I thought, again, listen, our defense has kept us in this thing here in the last 6 weeks. I mean, I think we've played really good defense. I mean, I don't know what they, both teams got it going a little bit more in the set, but I don't know how many games so far this year we've held a team 40% or lower, and that's the thing we've got to keep going, and obviously we got to find a way to get our offense going a little bit.
Speaking further on that defense, you guys held the best Mountain West three-point shooting team to just 26% tonight. What can you say on that perimeter defense specifically that's going to translate into this?
I thought, at times we did a really good job. We call it, clearing to shooters and closing out, or loading the paint. I thought our guys did that. We probably got beat off the dribble a little bit too much, for my liking, which, caused us being in rotation and all this stuff. I mean, it was close. We ended up outscoring them in the paint, but again, I think we've done a good job, especially today, of really getting to their shooters, making it difficult on them. But again, I think this team has played good defense here all conference.
Coach, I know you're really, really close with your family. It's so awesome to see them here every single game. What does it mean to celebrate this one with them?
Oh, it's awesome, and Allie, my daughter, Allie turned 7 yesterday. Okay, so she turned 7 yesterday. And what you learn, I tell you what's special is, like, so just do the math, right? You have a child March 1st as a coach in this business. Holy cow. So my wife Erica and Allie has to, like, it's just, we're in the thick of it every year. I mean, she was born, we had got to go to the conference tournament and play, so she's always going to be in the madness, you know. And Taylor's the same, but they're unbelievably supportive. I mean, the other night it's 8:30 at night on Tuesday, and they're both there, right, cheering there, and Erica brings them, and no, it's awesome. I mean, I've got so many people supporting me, but I love them dearly, and they support me more than anybody else through this, and it's tough to be them sometimes. Thanks, guys. Yep.